What do I do, Lord?
Destroy the child. Corrupt them all.
This is their plan, people. These are demons. It's basically an intergalactic invasion into this space through people. I'm telling you, it's what all the ancients said, it's what they warned of, it's what we're dealing with. They're demons. Invaders, okay? I'll just say it, make fun of me all you want on CNN or wherever, but everyone already innately knows this. These people are not frickin' humans, okay? Hillary Clinton is a goddamn demon. No like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
And we are live, everyone. I'm Jason of Awake Souls, and we are live on the Limitless Channel. How are you doing, brother?
I'm great, man. It's great to be here tonight. This is going to be an interesting podcast, I can say that.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are everybody in store for tonight?
Well, we're going to be looking at two particular individuals, Russian Vids and Brian Young from the HighImpactFlix channel. We'll be discussing disinformation tactics, CIA-type shills, all kinds of things we're going to be talking about tonight.
Yeah, so we're in an interesting position where they sort of had like a little fake battle between each other, and, you know, it's fake. We're going to be going through it. We'll point out that these guys are same team. And there's many ways to see that they're same team. So what's the problem with that? Well, being on the same team, they're all New World Order agents. And so you can call people Freemasons, you can call them Jesuits, you can call them Knights Templars, Rosicrucians, you call them Satanists or witches or wizards or anybody that doesn't believe in the creator of this world. And what they all end up being compiled into is one lump sum of New World Order agents, be it cognitively knowing what they're doing or just being faithful followers. So we're going to try to go through and point out what the New World Order narrative is and what the anti-New World Order narrative is. And, everybody gets to choose which side they want to be on. If New World Order is where you want to be, it's up to you. But if living forever in paradise is something that you're interested in, you don't want to follow that path. So we'll be going through all that tonight. We've got a couple videos from Brian Young, and we're going to go through those. It's going to be his words. So the hangout was like a 5-hour hangout between him and Russian Vids. We're not going through that. We're going through some commentary that took place afterwards, and that should be all that a person needs, right? I can't hear you. Might be muted.
Yeah, there's not too much more than we actually need with the, their own words, right? Everybody puts out the content that comes from their heart. And one thing that you have to be aware of here is Brian. We'll be addressing Brian mostly tonight. And anyone who comes to you as someone quoting scriptures per se, if they're pretending to be this character so that they can feed their family, I want to let everybody know that a lot of paths straight to hell were paved with people that said they were doing something for their family. I just have to pay the bills. The only problem is paying the bills doesn't mean that you need to have a YouTube channel, right? You could successfully do both. You can go to work, use your hands, and you can use your YouTube channel to spread truth. The problem that we run into with these monetized, group channeled up, so they have connections, they have multi-channel connections, and they're all linked together, and they all work, and they get their salary. They're basically New World Order agents. Everybody that you're going to be hearing us talk about tonight, Brian included. As soon as you cuck for money, you're done. You've given up your ability to unbiasedly share truth. Whenever you get the mighty dollar involved with anything, you are now cucking for that money. You are working for it, and you can never be trusted. And the worst thing that you can find is a gentleman like Brian who sits on the middle of the fence and says either this or that. He quotes a scripture out of one side of his mouth, and out of the other side of his mouth, he says that, the sacrifice that was done for everybody for salvation, he doesn't believe it. He thinks it's a controlling story, right? This is what you have to watch. These false prophets, they angels of light that are really ravaging wolves inside, right? They care about one thing, money. And we're going to lay the case out tonight, you guys. So this is what we do. We don't believe in coincidences. We see data points. And when you have enough data points, you form a picture. Whether or not you believe it is what it is, because truth is not subjective. It's not, well, I don't want to hurt anybody, so we get rid of all the rules and morals. Absolutely. Thou do what thou wilt is a Satanistic dogma, and we'll be talking about it tonight in depth. I definitely will be showing people that if you get rid of like the Brian HighImpactFlix narrative, if you get rid of the police, get rid of everything, good people need to be put in these positions. And I know there are good in all, and so does he. But the main thing is if you take away the morals, the scriptures, if you do away with that, you're basically left with the strongest will survive, right? Just because Brian might have more guns than the next guy, right? As soon as the rule of law, the way that we do have it, there is somewhat of an order here, even though I don't agree with any of it. I can't stand Freemason cops or any Freemasons. Y'all took secret oaths to lie. I could rant on for a while. I am going to get worked up tonight because what we're going through right now, all the people that have kids, and we have to come on YouTube, the top YouTubers. Brian is a literal verified 500,000 subscribers plus. He has a huge channel. He's on here arguing with idiotic Russian videos and Richie from Boston. And their drama is about slop that they sell and face masks on a stupid website that Brian says, well, I just put my stuff on there. I'm denounced to them. Yeah. So, okay, you're going to follow the New World Order. You obey because you have to feed your family. You're going to sell content that isn't going with your narrative. Every single way that we want to look at this, Brian stands as an absolute hypocrite, someone that should not be trusted. I would run as far away from someone that tells you to sit on the fence as I could. Take a stand. You want to serve the New World Order? Serve them. Don't be about it and hide and lie and masquerade as someone who cares when you care about yourself and feeding your family, like you make it clearly obvious. And then Russian vids, I don't even really need to say much. That guy's absolute, he's a joke. Yeah, you couldn't have served up lower hanging fruit. The apple would have been in the ground. Brian was able to overstand him in this debate. This entire thing has been absolutely absurd. Like I had said, with what's going on right now in the world, with what just started today, I think people know, you can read between the lines. We're going to be discussing Richie from Boston selling Patriot Supply, and Brian sells Patriot Supply. It's absolute poison slop that they're trying to sell you. It's expensive. You're going to store that up. Good Christian you are. How much faith you have. You're paying these New World Order agents for their slop. It's a joke. Everything about tonight is an absolute joke. It makes me very angry because there's the truest guy, the most honest guy, the patriot, Brian, he's an absolute ravaging snake in disguise. And you know what you're not going to see, Jason, and everybody on the other side of the screen? You're not going to see a video with the Limitless Channel and Awake Souls on Brian's channel, because all these snakes, all they do, I don't even want to say, because I do like some snakes, all these absolute shills do is just they back talk each other. They're going to bring up Anomaly. They're going to bring up Jeff Berwick. You're going to get every single Satanist. Max Egan. Rob Skiba actually makes it into the podcast. Go lo and behold, Rob Skiba's name.
The late Rob Skiba, of course, right?
He wasn't a Freemason, and Brian actually defends Freemasonry. Right? How could you defend a group of people that swore an oath to lie to you? How, like, who said that? Stupid. I trust a Freemason. They swore a blood oath to lie to me, but I'm going to take that because Brian comes in and says some scriptures and he's depressed and I'm going to trust you. I'm going to buy your poison. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. I'll rest my case.
All right. So we've got a couple comments in the chat right now having to do with money. Becca praises us for not taking money for what we do, and then we have somebody else in here that thinks that being paid is something that should take place. So we understood right from the get-go that monetizing the truth is going to discredit the truth, because that means whoever's paying the bill can buy you off. If they don't like the truth that you're sharing, no more money, right? So whoever has the purse controls the narrative, unless if you're not monetized. So we totally forego the entire snare of monetization in order to just be truth seekers and follow the path of the truth and be able to correct ourselves, find new truths, go places that nobody hasn't before, because we're self-funded. We go to work. Anybody can do it. If we can do it, a couple of carpenters from North America, we can get by, we can pay the bills and still have the time to be able to do this as a passion project, then anybody can. Truly, anybody can. So the idea that somebody should be able to go on some platform and be funded by the people that they're preaching to is an absurdity to me. And so somebody in the chat was saying stuff about ministers of churches being paid and all these types of things. Absolute disgrace across the board.
Yeah,
disgrace
we don't stand
across
for
the
any
board.
of that. It was never about that. It was never about a building either. It was about your heart condition. And the worst thing you can have is someone who comes to you as a sheep with ravaging wolf on the inside. Someone who quotes to you scriptures, but then says at the other side of their mouth that they don't believe in the Bible. They don't believe in the scriptures. They think it's a Roman tool of control. This is the absolute worst person that you can take truth from. What Brian does is just sprinkle in a little bit of Satanism, a little bit of, again, I'm going to be bringing this up, the Luciferian doctrine, do as thou wilt. This is what they're perpetuating. This is the slow bring in. You could have suppositions. Again, we could say this. We could say that. What we see is that Brian literally defends Freemasons in the videos, right? There's a bunch of things that we're going to see. These are the things that we call data points. We're not saying all in, he's a Freemason. All in, he's a Jesuit. That's just absolute dumb. You have to get the data points. And okay, when I look at a tree, it has roots, right? It then has a bark, it has a trunk, it has branches, and then it'll have leaves and sometimes fruit. That's how we know who people are. You know them by their fruit. That expression means that a tree is a tree. I am what I am. Brian is what he is. Jason is what he is. Everybody is just out in the open about it. Russian vids. Now, another interesting thing that I can say while we're on camera quickly is that HighImpactFlix had his channel taken down for like 6 months. Richie from Boston, he had his channel taken down for a long time too. And somehow, lo and behold, their channels came back on, and Brian's still checkmarked. He's still verified. And when someone's verified, I want everybody to know this: you're at the top of the algorithm, right? So if he has 550,000 subscribers and he gets 10,000 views per video, he has 10,000 subscribers, right? And 540,000 bought, paid for subscriptions, right? This is a process that we showed everybody. There was a time where YouTube allowed you to buy views, and when you bought views, you would get X amount of real views too. It was the only way you could reach people. They've set it up that way a long time ago. Brian was obviously a benefit of it. Now, I'm only saying that because I see the fruit on his channel. If he had 500,000 views a video, I would believe he had that many subs, right? But not now, because they took away the ability for people to buy the views. So I don't know if he's being paid by YouTube. I can suppose that he's being paid by the advertisings that he does. So those people that pay him to do that, are they going to ask him, hey, can you make a video like this? Or we don't want you to put our ad in that video. Or is it carte blanche? And then when he was asked questions about the whole monetization thing, first he said, I'll answer any questions. We'll get into it. I'm just giving it all away now. I'm just going to be quiet now. I'm absolutely riled up, because the worst kind of shill you can have is someone that sits on the fence and says, I don't know, either side. But what I say is we shouldn't do harms to other people. That's my message. Everything else is coincidental, right? Go ahead, get vaccinated. I shouldn't have said that. Might get a strike now. He does admit to that. He does support that. He does.
No. And for people that, monetization. I'm not against monetization. You can make video game videos. You can make makeup videos. You can monetize a whole bunch of crap. Hunting and fishing videos. The thing is, you can't monetize the truth or the scriptures, because then you become controllable. Can't do it for money. Can't do it. It just does not work. And you can clearly see it. We're going to be going through, and it's going to be a demonstration of why you can't do this for money. In each one of the characters that we end up covering, guys like Casey from Enter the Stars, all these networks, it's all about money.
He brought up the Brian Richie debate, and what he took it to instantly was how he was upset that he wasn't getting those views. Mm-hmm. He wasn't making that money. That's what Casey talked about. Mm-hmm. He got all depressed. It was a joke.
All right. Well, is there anything else that you want to go through? Should we go into screen shares? What are you thinking?
Yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in tonight, and we'll probably be back on Jason's channel soon. Right, Jay? I don't know if we're going to wait till the other strike goes away.
Well, I looked again, and it's so it's actually November 7th.
Okay.
For the first one, and then I think December 9th for the second one. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Well, we may be on your channel into December. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, there was that. There's really no other updates besides this crap that we have to cover tonight. It's gross, but someone has to stand up against this, and a different narrative needs to be presented, because I feel that everyone should have all of the evidence. I don't feel that anyone should hold any punches. If you see something and it unsettles you, share it, right? And then everybody in the world can look at it and they can come up to their own conclusion. Telling someone not to call things out, not to add things up together, is one of the worst things that I've ever heard a truther say in my entire life.
Oh no. I tried taking you to
What'd you do?
I tried taking you to the single screen, but it wasn't lined up.
It's fine. The rant is over.
All right.
We'll get better at it. Although I wonder if the words are absolutely, because now they're not even letting our vocal line up with the movements. Are we back to that yet?
Well, I don't know. So each transition should be a reset point. So
we don't see, that's the thing. We're carpenters, right? We just do the best that we can. We make mistakes. We're not perfect. No one is, nor are we sinless. But what we do, what we stand up for is the absolute truth, and that everybody has the opportunity to see all the evidence for themselves and come to their own conclusions. We don't want anyone to try to paint a narrative and say, stop there. We want to look at everything. That's what we do. And we take the good from everybody, like what Brian says that's good. We accept it. The bad, we have to expose. That's how this game goes. And we'll never stop doing it. And everyone else on the other side of the screen, if you can take any advice from me tonight, look at everything you can, learn as much information, be as smart as a serpent, but be as gentle as a dove.
all right, so we'll go to thumbnail.
I guess if I'm closer to the mic, I'll try not to yell, but I get really worked up when I see shills and disinformation agents. I don't see the screen share yet. Yeah, it says in the scriptures, beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravaging wolves. Right? There's another scripture that says, what's the other one? The other one was the angel of light to beware of, and you really should be. They do try to show up. I think you're screen sharing now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've got them up here, and we went through this one right here, and we went through this one right here, and we really felt that, like, basically if we go through these two, we're going to be able to hit on pretty much all the big players in this scene, and it should be pretty easy to see what's going on. So we'll play through it maybe at like 1 1/4 speed, and then you just stop me whenever you want me to.
And slander against people, you know.
Here we go.
Current mood and state of depression after last night's live stream on RV Truth in regard to, you know, what appears to be false accusations, innuendos, and slander against people, you know, frankly, that we just don't even know. And I wanted to let you know how I felt about it and set the record straight. I don't treat anybody as an enemy unless I know they're an enemy, unless I know they're no good for humanity. And I don't think I'm alone in the desire for somebody to prove an assertion against somebody that's a weighty assertion. Example, you know, saying that, you know, mocking somebody's name, Andrew Kaufman.
It's crazy. Yeah, with Dr. Kaufman. And I always say the Kaufman, you know, so instead of Kaufman, keep saying
the right Kaufman. How did I not catch that, dude? The Kaufman.
Okay, hold on.
And
pause. Okay, so what we're having here is Brian Young is defending Andy Kaufman, who was a shill, who was a disinformation agent that came out and tried to give you these magic potions to cure you from the coronavirus. When we I'm breaking my own rules. It's fine. Richie was the guy who brought him onto the scene. So now RFB is trolling Richie about the Kaufman guy because his last name was, you know, Kaufman, right? He was going against the whatever, the juice. So the whole narrative is now tied up that these guys are all intrinsically connected, and Brian's trying to take the high ground here.
Saying
the Kaufman. How did I not catch that, dude? The Kaufman.
And a snapshot of somebody doing a handshake and correlating that with the Masonic Brotherhood. I just can't do it.
Okay, pause it.
I just can't do it.
Okay, there's a way to shake a hand. I was raised to look a man in his eyes and shake his hand firmly. That's one way. These guys do it outright, specifically the way that it is in the photographs of the Masonic handshake. And Brian very well knows this. He's trying to lay cover
for other Freemasons. That's the only deductive reasoning I can come to when I see the data points of him defending people doing this Freemason handshake. He's just trying to say everything is circumstantial. It's not. It's absolutely not. Everything's truth and what it is.
Do it. I can't find it in my heart to do it. And I think it's wrong. I think it's unjust. I think it is a mean-spirited attempt to describe what you think is going on in the world, and it may not be like that for that person. Are there evil things going on in the world? You heard the thunder in the background. It looks like a storm's rolling in.
I just
Is
gotta
this
say,
Rick Hummer?
I just gotta say, yeah, Rick Hummer used that line. Trump used that line. It seems like a setup line to me. Like, could this just be natural, where, you know, a thunderstorm, he's recording, or was that line inserted for a reason?
Yeah, it's raining. We don't hear much thunder though. We did hear a little bit. Could it have been a soundbite? Who knows? But the fact that he's trying to add this emotion, he's acting. High impact what? Flix. He's acting, people. This is nonsense right here.
That's YouTube verified, everybody.
Could it apply to that person? Could it be true about that person? Could Ron Paul be a part of the Masonic Brotherhood? Yes. Yes, he could. Do signs and symbols mean things to people? Yes, they hold great meaning and value for a lot of people.
So he's just going to go on and confirm, yes, signs and symbols, all that kind of stuff. But then he's going to take it all away and say, when you see people doing that, do you know for sure that they are? Would you, is it slander to say?
Were you there when they, rolled their pant leg up and put the blindfold on and swore the oath? Absolutely not. No one was there but you guys, and you guys all swore oaths not to tell the truth. Mm-hmm. Playing this game.
People, maybe not you, maybe not me, but they do mean something. Are there coincidences in this world? I think there are. Can I prove that? No. Coincidental things happen to me that I didn't personally fabricate, or am I self-deluded? Have I been psychologically
There was a big sniffle when he asked if he was self-deluded.
Operated on? I see evidence that I have been. I see evidence that humanity has been. I don't know how you can escape the plans of those who like to socially engineer, the social engineers, the psychological operators. I don't know how you can escape that. If you see a billboard.
Yeah, all the nose work, and he says that he is a victim of psychological operation, but everybody is. And people that are genuine don't talk about how they're in psyops and stuff like that. That's people.
We expose them.
We expose them. Yeah, free from them. Absolutely.
You're being psychologically operated on some level. If you turn on the TV, if you watch a movie, there are things that they want to plant into our minds. We do know this. We can show this. We can demonstrate it. It's provable. It's objective.
If you see his videos and you watch his advertisements and what he sells and stuff, you'll see he absolutely, right down to the colors of his channel, he absolutely knows how to run psyops. I'm just letting people know that he didn't just come up with this video on the fly.
Well, and RV says that he's got a production team around him. Now, do we know that it's true or not? Maybe RV has a production team around him and he just knows how it works. But when you look at, I know that you say that his production value, you think that he's a one-man show, but
yep.
I tend to lean towards actually having a team of people supporting him.
If anything, someone writes for him, I'll submit.
Yeah.
The place that I couldn't go with RV Truth last night is beyond the subjective. I needed something objective. Did I sound like a broken record? I saw people saying that in the chat. Yes, I was a broken record because we couldn't go on from why do you call and applaud the comment that Carrie Madej is a witch? Can you prove that?
And so you got the Kaufman, Madej, and there's something.
So we exposed, not that we called her a witch, she very well could be, but we exposed that she was an actress, reading lines, right? Selling people a whole fantasy about blah blah. It was just nonsense, right? You don't need to call her a witch. That's what low-hanging fruit is. Our Russian videos, the entire night we're going to go through tonight, he just does nothing but offer up the most ridiculous, stupid, debunkable things that you could ever imagine. Obviously, same team, Russian Videos plays the dumb guy, right? Brian gets to come in, the Luciferian do as thou wilt doctrine gets to triumph. People need to pay attention to how these debates go.
Yeah, and we're actually going to get a whole bunch of stuff exposed from the sides here, where you have like Freemasons calling out Freemasons. We'll see how it goes.
Something strange about, like, she's like a witch or something. I don't know what it is. I got a weird vibe about her. She probably has a crystal ball and some candles and a book and who knows what else. But man, I wouldn't be surprised she's some type of witch, and she's probably listening in as we're speaking. But that's perfectly fine, Richie.
Can you prove that, any one of the assertions made against these people, are they provable? If you have proof, bring the proof forward. I didn't see any proof. Maybe others saw it in a different way. But I don't see how any good is done by making unprovable statements and accusations and what appears to be out and out slander against people. I don't know how we can do that. In my estimation, we need to be careful not to become the very monsters we claim to be fighting against.
Don't call anything out.
Well, can't.
You don't need to pause it. That's what he's telling people.
Yeah, if you can't actually show the 100% proof, you can't call anything out. So just eliminate the entire truthing movement.
Jason, it's the exact same narrative that John LeBon had. And not only do these guys come out with that narrative, but then they ask, can you show me all the evidence you have? Right? They fish for what you have, but they just say we can't prove anything on our end. That's it.
Cannibalize each other. We'll defeat ourselves. Our enemies won't even need to lift a finger to defeat us. We'll already be dead and bloodied on the battlefield before they get there. And that was the message I was trying to convey last night. As for the shirt store where masks, totally caught me off guard. After that live stream on Anomaly, I don't even know how many hours I spent. It was well over 5 hours. I was doing it well into the morning because I felt like.
So the Anomaly shout out is to a live stream 10 months ago. And this is another guy that we've identified being in the same network.
Yeah, he made it on Fox News Live on television.
News.
Right, Anomaly, but he's a truther.
And Brian gets to, hang out with him. Yeah, same team.
Same and multi-channel network.
Like, yeah, Anomaly has a point. A lot of people in the chat room have a point. I call them ritualistic shame muzzles. It's a bad look. Is it inherently wrong for somebody to wear a ritualistic shame muzzle? I've never made that claim. Never made that claim.
Out of one breath,
if you're not free to wear a ritualistic shame muzzle, you're not free.
Other breath, bite off me. Because if you're not free to buy it, you're not free. And you know who says things like that? Montagraph, the guy who runs the multi-channel networks. Montagraph says, if you can't speak freely, then you're not free. That's his tagline. This guy right here. And again, I'm only creating data points. I'm not suggesting that this guy here works for Monograph, but I'm saying there's a connection, right? Same mantra. And again, the narrative of that he's taking is putrid. The only thing we can do in a free and just society is stand up and speak the truth. It doesn't matter. Nothing else matters but that.
And the only thing that we can do is take these data points and use deductive reasoning. This is how we make educated decisions as to what we can figure out based off of all this data that surrounds something. Now, sometimes you have to jump to a conclusion, but it's an educated one. People do this all the time for benefit and to detriment. So you have to make educated guesses through looking at the data and coming to a conclusion.
If you're not free to buy a ritualistic shame muzzle, you're not free. If you're not free to roll up your sleeves and take the VAXX, you're not free. I'm not against anybody exercising their free will to do whatever they want to with their own lives. The thing that I've always had a problem with is the initiation of force and violence and forcing somebody into silence. I've always had a problem with that. Well, always. No, I've been a bootlicker. I've applauded the chains of my own oppression and the oppression of others, just like I think most of us that are watching this video have. So you can wear a ritual.
What kind of capitulation is that? No, I'm a bootlicker. He's supposed to be a role model, but now all of a sudden he just gives up. He's a bootlicker.
Ritualistic shame muzzle if you want to. I painstakingly went through my entire store to get rid of everything, and then I find out that there's a function within Spreadshirt that has nothing to do with my store, that's on my store, with the heading of face masks, and you can click on that and you can put any of my designs on those face masks. I demonstrated last night in a live stream right afterwards because it really eats me. I don't want to be a hypocrite. If I'm found to be in hypocrisy, I want to know about it. Self-examination is good medicine.
You like that, huh?
None of us is perfect. We all fall short, every single one of us. I don't want to be a hypocrite. I don't want to be a slanderer. I don't want to be a garbage individual. If you were my neighbor, I wouldn't want to be hamstringing you in life. I'd want to be helping you along in life. I would want to applaud the good and expose the bad. Because I just think that's what all normal, rational, loving, compassionate, kind human beings want to do for one another. Instead of pile driving them into the dirt, making unsubstantiated claims, and mocking people's names that they have nothing to do with. But as for the masks, I will be dealing with that today. I don't even know what to do with Spreadshirt. It doesn't look like it's a function that's within my control. I've already been kicked off of Teespring. I'm on Spreadshirt right now. That's the way I feed my family.
It's the way he feeds his family. Nothing he can do about it. You have to buy his face mask off of his site to feed him. That's all he can do. That's so gross.
And keep a roof over our heads. So I don't know. I'll have to get back to you if anybody has any
hold
idea.
on. This is the absolute most garbage thing I've heard from any of these hypocrites. It's absolute. He comes out playing the weak victim. This is the guy I found his channel years ago because I was trying to lose weight. I didn't even know he was a truther or supposed truther. He was a guy that lost all this weight and he was in great shape. Now you hear him saying that I have a channel so that I can feed my family, right? I sell slop, poison Patriot supply food. You know how much poison is in that stuff? It's gross. Who knows how much Cinemax or heck or whatever that stuff is in that garbage. It's not protein. It's not chicken. It's not meat. It's not fish. It's powder. This is what he sells because he says he needs to feed his family. And he's supposedly some kind of a health freak and he's selling poison to people because he says he needs to feed his family. This is, I got to tell you guys, you got to watch for these people. They come at you as the perfect angel of light. And what they're really doing is poisoning you. What is it? The Trump speech, right? The snake on the side of the road. The woman sees it and she takes it into the house because it's sick. The snake gets better and bites her. She's dying, and the snake says, "You knew I was a snake when you brought me in, right?" Like,
calling Spreadshirt today and asking them why, when I got rid of it in my store, can people exercise that option? I don't know. You're free to do whatever you want to do.
He should be a tough man. You know that? You'll never see me up here acting like a bitch. Never. I take pride in who I am. I don't care what anybody says about me. I'm not going to come up here and capitulate to Russian Vids, who's an absolute joke of a person who hides his face. What's his name? I can't even remember. Pashenko or something. And Richie. You're capitulating to these guys? I don't understand what he thinks he's setting a precedent as a leader of this verified channel. You don't come out and capitulate and then say, well, I got to sell the New World Order stuff and the satanic stuff because it feeds my family. Man, get a job. I thought you did water filtration stuff. What happened? You got make a video. Did you get fired because you fight for the truth? That would be a data point I would like to see, because as I can see it right now, all you care about is what YouTube will allow you to say that you can make enough money to feed your family, because I know how it works. I've been on YouTube doing this for 8 years. If you say what they want you to say, you get the views. If you don't get the views. You just admitted that this is how you feed your family. So I know exactly who you work for. And that is a data point that I can stick on you. And everybody else can see it. And you can't come on your camera. You're not going to come on and address any of these points, because I know you won't, because we're not on your team. We're real people out here looking for truth.
567,000 YouTube verified. So they put you on the team and they promote you. You can't be a truther and be YouTube verified. I mean, that right there, just, it's a mind fry to even think that you could be a truther and YouTube verified. You think YouTube wants to put the truth out? No. I mean, that right honestly, there sinks you.
I really liked Brian when I first found his channel. I commented, I was active, right? And he did a podcast with No More News, and he went on to mock the scriptures and the death and resurrection, right? He mocked it. He thought it was funny. He thought it was stupid. argued against it. And from that moment on, I started paying way more attention to him and his narrative, right? And for me, the worst about all this is this fake drama infighting where they're actually showing you the things that they're selling. What I want people to understand is he started the video off by explaining that you're always being programmed, right? We're showing you this stuff so we can unprogram you from it. The slop that they're selling is poison. The trinkets and toys that they've got are bad products. They're Amazon Chinese crap that the patriots are selling you. We're opening your eyes up to it. But for him to come out here and play the victim, saying he's depressed, right? And to be a leader, he is the leader. He stands up as a leader. Leaders lead. They don't capitulate to nonsense. They don't tell you not to point out coincidences. That's how we form. Humans start noticing things as soon as we're conscious. We're already learning. Never tell anyone to stop learning or stop speaking out. Always speak out, because if you say something and then someone else sees you, they'll say, hey, I saw that too. And that's how you come to a collective agreement through deductive reasoning and truth. The opposite way that Brian wants you to just, be subjective. And unless you actually saw him swear the death oath, you can't say just because he says the things that they say, he does the hand signs that they do, he's got the numbers and the symbolism in his stuff, but that doesn't mean that they're that. To me, it's so weak.
Yeah, and all the other people that they hang out with do the same things. So, yeah, crazy.
It might be a good idea if we want to change this world and we want to win against those people who are evil, the people who may be a part of those and looks like they're part of those secret societies.
Again, how does it, where does he think this is going to go? Is he going to lead an army against the military and the government? Is that what he thinks? What's winning to Brian, right? Winning to us is being in the paradise without wicked people who want to do as they wilt, right? That needs to go. People need to do what's righteous every time. But again, I got to stop getting you to mute. We're never going to get through this.
If we want to win, we need to stop cannibalizing each other. I am in a deep state of depression, gloom, despair.
No, we came here to divide.
I know it's kind of sounds.
I didn't need a pause. We're here for division.
Funny, but it's not
division,
gloom, despair, and agony on me. It's agonizing.
I'll tell him. Here, pause it one more time. Brian, get up off of your balcony, grow a pair, right? Start standing up for actual truth. Stop thinking about your monetization and your stupid t-shirts and fight for truth. Do it wherever you can. Stand up for the innocent, the people that are being what's going on right now, especially the children. This is not what we need. We need leaders who stand up with power, who are ready to fight for their freedoms, right? Albeit at least verbally, right? I'm not saying go and shoot people. That's retarded, right? Stand up and do what's right spiritually for the children. Don't come out here like a wimp ass, depressed. What are you doing, man? Get to the gym, work out. I'm at a loss for words here. We could almost stop this right now. I have no idea what this man is about anymore. I'm shocked that he's up here playing the victim like this. This isn't the Brian that I knew. No.
This is a play between teammates, New World Order agents, where they're setting this up where they fake fight each other. And now he's doing the role right now of anybody that's calling out the Freemasons for their signs, their symbols, and there's so many other sects like the Freemasons. Just stop calling that out. That's his job right now. He's trying to squelch the truthers from pinning this New World Order thing on the people that are responsible for it, while actually admitting that, old guys like Ron Paul and all these types of people, that, they might be. Well, guess what? Yeah. Guess what? The characters that we're covering tonight might be as well. In fact, we're going to show a whole bunch of data points that a person that uses deductive reasoning would be a fool to think that they weren't.
The slander, the accusations, the innuendos, the trying to pin evil on somebody where there's no proof, the unjust measure. I don't even think I finished that question to him last night. I said, do you know what the verse is after judge not lest you be judged? Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I don't know. It's all a world.
Here we go.
What is the verse right after judge not lest you be judged? And
so the funny thing is he's the anti-Christian who quotes nothing. He quoted the most amount of scripture to RV, who's supposed to be Christian, and to Richie, who's supposed to be Christian. This was the guy quoting scripture, but he was quoting all the stuff. Oh, you're a bad Christian. The Bible says this. The Bible says this.
One second.
What?
Yeah, the line that comes after that is don't try to remove someone else's splinter in their eye until you've taken the log out of your own. Brian, you're out here depressed, but you're trying to heal other people at the same time. You're literally in contradiction of what you just tried to use as evidence for your victimhood, right? And we are commanded to judge righteously, right? That has never changed. That's always been a commandment, and it always will be. Judge not, lest ye be judged. We are all going to be judged for our actions. There's no getting away from that. What the scripture is telling you is to do the work on yourself, heal yourself so that you can be strong and bold and lead, right? Especially if you're going to be out here speaking scriptures, make sure you understand them before you look a fool.
Be judged doesn't mean shelf your critical thinking. Cease all discernment. If you see something bad, don't call it out and expose it. That's not, I don't think that's what Jesus was saying. Judge not lest you be judged is followed by, for with the measure or judgment you use on others, that same judgment and measure scripture will be used on.
I'm reading, it's Matthew 7:1-3. It says, judge not that ye not be judged, for with the judgment, oh yeah, he did get it. So shall you be used as judged as what you judge others as. And then it goes on to say, read the next line, Brian. Don't stop at the second verse. The next one says, and why beholdest thou the mote in thine brother's eye, but considereth not the beam in your own? Brian, you left out the most important part of the message. You need to heal yourself first. That's what it's saying, so that you can judge righteously, right? I don't judge you for anything that I don't hold myself to the same standard, and I never will, ever. Nor would I tell someone to do a job that I couldn't do. Never.
You. It's almost like karmic. It's almost like
it
what
is.
Goes around comes around, buddy.
Yep.
Karma's
You've been
going to
getting
get
paid
you.
by the
You're
New
gonna
World
do bad,
Order,
you're gonna sow
Brian.
seeds of evil in this world. Don't not expect evil trees and evil fruit to grow up in your backyard. So it says, judge not lest you be judged. Don't judge with a hypocritical, pharisaical, slanderous judgment. For with the measure you use, if you judge unjustly, that injustice will come back on, it'll boomerang on you, pal.
True.
Is what I
Seven
think Jesus is
times
saying.
over,
If I'm
actually.
wrong, please
7
correct me.
times over.
For with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Some people want to use the measure of slander and innuendo and injustice against somebody else. Yes, I want to be judged, but I want it to be a just judgment. It's like Kevin Strickland. Kevin Strickland has been in a Missouri jail for 42, 43 years because he was unjustly judged against all the evidence that was in Kevin Strickland's favor. He was unjustly judged, and this guy's sitting in a prison cell. He's been there for 42, 43 years now. He clearly didn't commit the triple homicide in 1978. The people who actually did it were caught, said that Kevin Strickland had nothing to do with it. Both of those guys went to jail, served 10 years. They were out in a decade. 4 decades later, Kevin Strickland's still in there. I don't want that judgment to come on me, just like I don't want a slanderous accusation to come against me. If somebody says something about me this guy was implying from the word go last night, because I put a picture up on the internet 4 or 5 years ago, took a picture when I was 17 and took a picture when I was 50, a transformation picture, and it was 33 years later, I've learned 2 things. He was trying to pin 33 on me. In my mind, the 33 meant nothing. I gave it no thought. 17, 50 minus 17 is 33. And then trying to pin some evil link, RFB called it flagrant, with Greg Anderson having a rope bridge in the background hanging on the wall, and Carrie Madej having the same rope bridge that you can get, that probably 10,000, 50,000 people bought at IKEA because they like the bridge.
Just yeah, it's just right in front of us. The 2 bridges.
I cannot believe that, man. I've been on the road, so I don't even watch YouTube anymore. You know what I mean? I can't. That's just flagrant. That is. Yeah. She's sitting in the same position, almost identical.
Yeah, it's really insane.
I like that. I think that's a cool picture. It reminds me of
Now they're discussing her background.
This isn't
low-hanging fruit.
This isn't the same picture. You can tell. If we go back here, this is a bridge to nowhere, and the trees
all foggy,
totally fogged out. And then he shows a different picture where it's not a bridge to nowhere. So it's the bridge to nowhere that Richie from Boston and RV and all these other people call out. It's one of those Freemasonic terms and symbolic things.
Yeah, it's really insane.
I like that. I think that's a cool picture. It reminds me of it's serene. You know, you look at pictures, it's like, oh man, that's calming. It takes me to a place that, you know, looks like I've been before when I was a kid, and they were good times. It makes me
Mind
feel
control.
good inside. But something
That
that
was all
somebody
mind
doesn't think
control.
anything about other than, hey, this
Why
gives me
he
a good
said
feeling.
that
It looks
is
good on my
beyond me.
wall.
Right, mind control.
Yeah, and
When I was a kid, makes me feel good. And my what?
these are the MK Ultra techniques that they use with trigger words and trigger imagery.
All of a sudden now becomes flagrant.
That's flagrant. I didn't even know this existed. That's flagrant.
Yeah, that's just. And
A
here's the
bridge
thing
to
is,
nowhere.
yeah, and this is the thing is, it's like the little Easter eggs in plain sight, and who's going to catch this?
What's flagrant mean? Overt immorality, something wrong, something evil, something bad. I'm sorry, I can't do that. I don't see how that benefits humanity. And a case can be made for where it's to the detriment of humanity. And then the ad
Here we
hominems
go.
come back.
So now we're going to get into some Saskapedalianism, right? This is where Richie, go ahead.
Well, so the way that RV and Richie played it is they called that flagrant, and that's obviously not flagrant, right? That was a subtle picture on the wall, completely not flagrant. The handshakes with the hand signs and all that kind of stuff, and the one eye, that stuff's flagrant. The 666 on merchandise, that's flagrant. So that was a straw man. They set up that picture on the wall, called it flagrant, so that he could come along and say, oh, that's not flagrant.
Makes me feel like I was a child again.
Yeah. Did you want to add anything else?
Well, yeah, just these guys are very Saskapedalian. all they do is Brian literally, at least Brian's educated. He looks up things. They just try to use big words to sound smart. That's what Brian's play is. His whole angle. He's the smart guy, right?
Come out. Well, you're a gatekeeper. Have you really become a gatekeeper because you questioned that, because you asked somebody to produce
It's
evidence
hypocritical.
of a claim that's been made against another human being? Are you really a gatekeeper? Am I really protecting all of Max Egan and all of Max Egan's teachings
New
and
name.
all of
Hang on. Okay, here we go again, people. Now we've got Max Egan entering the ring, who apparently he's moved from Australia to Mexico to live with Jeff Berwick or something. But so what we see here is another name being dropped. We had Anomaly's name dropped, right? And now we have Max Egan, right? Who is another known character to make the Freemasonic and New World Order hand signs, another New World Order agent. He went on telling people that Lucifer is phosphorus that you're supposed to keep in your body as a man that comes out when, you know, you have babies. That's what they tried to do. Right. So Brian is now trying to defend Max Egan, and you can just see the narrative. Here it is.
So here's same team. He's identifying team members.
Andrew Kaufman or Andrew Kaufman's teachings or anybody? Am I really protecting the whole,
Another
or
name
am I
drop.
just saying, hey, that is a statement you can't prove, and if you can't prove it, and it turns out to not be true, because you don't know at this point if it is true or not, that's called slander. That's evil. That tears us down. It doesn't build us up. It burns bridges. It doesn't construct them. Maybe we should live by the edict. Do all the good you can to all the people you can, in every way you can, in every place you can, as often as you can, simply because you're a human being and you can.
It's a great edict.
Are there symbols that represent just demonic, evil, corrupt, unjust things? Yes.
Yes.
But how have you
sell
become
them.
any better
You
by
sell them.
labeling something potentially a child, you know what, when it may not
because
even be true?
he likes hot dogs.
We're not trashing anybody.
Right?
We're down to it where people are following.
Yeah, that does come up, right?
Yeah. Well, he sold a hot dog solar cooker, right? He was one of the shills that was selling things. He still does. And if you do the research into the FBI lingo that was released, you'll find out what a man that likes hot dogs means. And he fully knows what's going on here. And I can't even believe it entered the conversation. It baffles me.
Yeah, and Max Egan is somebody that we've called out as well, but here's Richie doing it. He's going to point something out.
The wrong channels because they like the guy or the way he talks. We're Americans. Anybody with an English and Australian accent, we think they're smart. Max looks like a clown with no makeup on. He looks like he should be hiding in a bush trying to catch a little kid with a fishing rod and a bag of Skittles. I don't trust this dude.
Hold on.
Labeling somebody as a free
Hold on. That's the stupidest thing you can ever do is insult a man's face. right? You don't want to bring that to me ever. I will listen. All that you can judge a man on is two things. One, his actions, and two, which we judge less on, his word. These are the two things that you can debate about on a man, right? Not the way that they look. That's what I mean. Richie from Boston and Russian Vids made absolute ass clowns of themselves. They made themselves look, I couldn't find two guys to be dumber and dumber than those two guys. And Brian gets to come in with his do as thou wilt Luciferian agenda while he laces in scriptures, right, to sell you that he's this certain character, while absolutely trying to destroy anybody's credibility, anybody's ability to put points together and come up with conclusions.
Freemason when it may be because of a handshake that you see on a freeze frame from a video when it may not be true.
All right. So he goes ahead and gives us the shot. We've covered this before, but there's Richie and ODD. These are characters
more verified
that have played in the flat earth realm. Richie really doesn't touch it anymore. ODD just makes like rap songs, stuff like that. But the handshake was obvious. The handshake up here with Ron Paul is obvious. So he's going to say, well, because Ron Paul does it, does that mean that the handshake that you, Richie, and you, ODD, were doing, that you're not Freemasons? No, it does not mean that. No, because they are. They are. They have demonstrated it over and over and over. We could go through Richie's channel. We could go through all of his content. He's such a Freemason promoter. How could you not be a Freemason to promote them as much as he does? And New World Order, that is ODD's shtick. All right, he's all about the New World Order. They sit there and they tell you what the New World Order is going to do, and people pay these people to be able to hear what the New World Order is going to do to them.
When somebody can take the same kind of freeze frame video of you if you're out in the the grocery store conducting business and you shake somebody's hand and it just so happens to look like a Freemason hand sign or a handshake. And then somebody freeze frames that and goes, aha, Brian's a part of the Freemasons. Just like the innuendo from last night with the 33. Have you ever been to a Masonic temple? Have you ever been a Freemason? Well, what if I was and I lied about it? You wouldn't know. All you needed was the 33 on that Instagram post.
Wow.
Yeah, so Brian did his job here, showing how Richie's part of the club. He's trying to use it to defend that you can't call out Freemasons while calling out Freemasons. You see the psychology here?
Mm-hmm.
Unjust, unrighteous, a measure I do not want against me, and I wouldn't want against any one of my loved ones, because I would know my loved one, and I know myself. Man, it's so easy to use evidence in people's own words and their own writings and their own videos of what they said that incriminates them. Why do you need something that you can't prove? Why not rest your entire case on the foundation of provable, objective, observable, repeatable evidence that anybody can arrive at the conclusion of? Otherwise, what have you done? If you've laid a subjective standard in judgment against somebody that you can't...
He says that with one breath, but in the other breath, he says he believes in coincidences, right? So he's just talking out both sides of his face.
Prove, you may get a whole bunch of people on your side, but it's not because of evidence. It's just because they believe that person. What's that called? The cult of personality. Oh, we don't believe that person right there is a child. You know what? Because of evidence that I can prove and that I can repeat and that I can demonstrate to others to show them, hey, this is why this person is who I say he is. It's, hey, just take my word for it. And if you
So this was another case of bringing up children, and so twice now, and it gets worse.
disagree, you must be a gatekeeper. That is the cult. That is the epitome of the cult of personality. That's the epitome of cementing yourself in cognitive dissonance. That's the epitome of locking yourself and throwing away the key to your own echo chamber, or drinking the Kool-Aid, or however you want to put it. No people will tamely surrender their liberties, their freedoms, the essence of who they are. No people will tamely surrender their liberties, nor can any be easily subdued when knowledge is diffused and virtue is preserved. Knowledge has to be diffused. That's objective, reasonable, logical, articulable knowledge. Okay, you believe that guy to be a child, you know what? You believe this guy right here to be a part of the Freemason Lodge? Prove it. When knowledge is diffused, that's how you preserve your virtue. You diffuse knowledge, and knowledgeable, logical, intelligent, loving, kind, compassionate people will come to the knowledge based on the merits, not based on somebody's word. And then that's how you preserve virtue. That's how you maintain a moral compass. Otherwise, everything's out of kilter and it's all off base. So I'm basically rambling right here. I didn't expect to be talking this long. If you disagree with anything I said, lay it on me. I'm correctable. The reproofs of instruction are the way of life. But I'll tell you what, man, we need kindness and love and compassionate and tempered with truth and justice and mercy in this world. And I didn't see any of that last night, and I feel like I am the cause of opening a can of destructive, evil, nonsensical words, and for that I apologize. I'm speechless, I'm depressed. I know this is just a day in the life. You know, it's raining out.
So he said he's the cause of all that. He acknowledges that he was the cause of it, and for that he's depressed. It's a really weird position to take, that he knows that he's the cause and now he's depressed.
Out here, I happen to like the rain. It's invigorating, but it's kind of gloomy too at the same time. And that's how I feel. You know, you feel soiled, dirty, and nasty, and you know what's going to happen. He already said what's going to happen. Oh, wait till me and Richie from Boston get together. I'm sure a whole lot of love and.
So what he's perpetuating here is that when you call out somebody for things that they're doing, I was about to use a Saskatchewan term. What he's trying to state is that it makes you feel sick. Absolutely not. When you stand up for truth, when you see something and you call it out, it empowers you. That's what you. So he says that you're free to do anything. He's all about freedom, freedom, freedom. That's Brian's message. But then on the other hand, he says he was standing up, defending himself, and he feels sick now. He's disgusted and he's depressed and he's broken. Is there, you know, I would add in here as a data point that maybe Brian is being convicted for things that he's done that he's not proud of. That would be a better stance to take than to say that because he's arguing with Richie from Boston because he sells satanic propaganda on his website. Instead of owning it like a man, he's coming out here saying, you know, when you guys argue back and forth, we get sick. It's really weak.
Mercy and goodness and kindness. I'm sure the fruit of the Spirit is just going to be bursting out of that live stream. I'm sure you're going to see tons of love, joy, peace, patience, long-suffering, goodness, kindness, faithfulness, gentleness, and a whole lot of self-control. I'm sure there's going to be a whole lot of justice going on in that live stream. And what kills me is it's not just the leaders, the RV Truths, the Russian Vids, the RFBs who claim they're an asshole. I don't see how you can make a better world. I don't see how can you vanquish the enemy by being an asshole.
That's one thing I really respect about you, man. I'll say it.
I'm an asshole, not an egomaniac. If I was an egomaniac, I'd spend $1,500 to get my front tooth fixed, but I don't care.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. All good, brother.
It's an asshole is literally a contemptible, disreputable person, and you're not going to change your ways. You're okay with that, Richie? I don't know how many times he said it. I'm an asshole with a laptop. I'm just an asshole. And then, it's all good, man. It's all good.
All good, brother.
No, being an asshole is not good. It doesn't do your neighbor good. Love thy neighbor. How about this, RV Truth? You guys say you're for the Bible and that you're Christians and you follow Jesus. Isn't it one of the commandments, you shall not bear false witness against your neighbor? You bore false witness. You slandered. You did wrong. You did evil. And the World Economic Forum t-shirt, the 666, it's just calling the World Economic Forum out for what it really is. It's truly evil. We demonstrated that. That's not slander. They were at Event 201 with the Gil and Melinda Bates Foundation and the Johns Hopkins University Fear Porn Death Map Boys and Girls. They were there. But it's hypocritical when I have the World Economic Forum 666, but in his t-shirt store, he's promoting the United Nations symbol.
Woo-wee! Yeah, so what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So we have him promoting the 666 World Demonic Forum. He's got it all, you know, with the devil horns and stuff like that. This is New World Order. And yeah, Richie promotes the New World Order. So this is the United Nations map. These, what are they, fascis? around here, or laurel wreath. So this is the Roman seal of authority, like the Roman seal. This is the New World Order AE map of model. This is impossible. Earth cannot be a circle because the sun and moon cannot be doing circles around a single polar point. So this is wrong. This is wrong. This is all same team. This is New World Order paraphernalia that you can buy from these guys.
Justifying it with flat earth terminology or whatever. You're promoting the UN? You're promoting 666? With the measure you use, it will be measured to you. I appreciate you guys. None of us is greater than all of us. Please leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Good, bad, ugly, indifferent, whatever.
Let's keep going to the next video. So the next video, there's more. We're not done yet. And again, all I'm suggesting is that Brian works for YouTube and he shills for money. And all this is just nonsense for him to advertise the images. He started off by telling you guys that you're all being programmed. He's programming you. He's trying to. You're muted.
Verified. Now we're going to go through the proof he's a Freemason from RV.
3-second mark.
The Brian Young being 33, but wow, you know, why am I not surprised? You know, that's so. This is, you know, really.
So somebody said to him, Max Egan and Brian Young equals 33. Now he's going to look it up real time on live stream. This is tantamount to making fun of Andy Kaufman's name, the Kauf man. Look how obvious they make it. They put it in front of your eyes. Oh yeah, he's gonna speak against the Convid 1984 by George Orwell, and his name is Kaufman. Did Andrew Kaufman have anything to do with his last name? If that's the name he was born with, did he have anything to do with his name?
So that's a great question. If that's the name he was born with. So one of the things that we see all the time with Freemasons is that they're actors and that they use stage names. Ones that they choose that equal 33. They choose these names. They're not born with them. Now, is it possible that you could have Freemasonic parents, that they have a child and they decide to name you something Freemasonic? Absolutely. But if it's a stage name and they chose it, it's because they're propping Satan.
His name? Does that mean the plan was so long range that his father and mother, or maybe grandfather and grandmother, wherever the Kaufman name came from, this is all part of this plan to put this guy in here at this exact time? Were my mom and dad, when they named me Brian Young, were they in on the 666 number 33 Masonic rights plan?
We already know that Brian,
with each passing minute, he goes further and further and further out on a limb.
It's a fraud. So take a look, everyone.
So there I am in the gematria calendar.
For taking the time, where his name is Brian Young, and he doesn't hide that, of course, and it's 33. You got to be kidding me.
You got to be kidding me.
You got to be kidding me. And people are still going to buy his nonsense? Boy. And obviously, besides that, like I showed so many times, the guy's a Mason.
Okay, this is again, I continue to promote that these guys are putting up the absolute. So what they do is they have a fake fight and one guy plays the idiot. He puts up easily discreditable evidence. We're talking about data points, right? When someone says that just because Brian's name equals 33 in some calculator, it does not make him a Mason. I don't understand how anything could be easier for someone to come against. If Russian Vids was really trying to expose this guy, I think he could have done a little bit more research, right? And actually looked at the arguments. It's really dumb.
Gematria. We are absolutely against gematria completely. It's pure Kabbalism. So Kabbalism is the religion practiced by the Masons. It's the religion practiced by the Jesuits, the Vatican. It's all Kabbalism.
I see that. Let me see here. Is that coming through?
Did you hear what he said? He said conclusively, the assertion is, not the assumption, not the implication, the assertion is the guy's a Mason. He says, I am a Mason.
Obviously, besides that, like I showed so many times, the guy's a Mason.
The guy's a Mason.
You guys see that? Let me see here. Is that coming through? So yeah,
the reason I'm showing this, guys, is that's the rationality that we're dealing with here. That's the mentality that we're dealing with here. That's the logic trail this guy, or lack of logic trail, that this guy wants us to follow. Do I deny that they're signs and symbols and that they hold great importance in the eyes of those who believe in them? No, I don't deny that at all. You see this kind of stuff all over the place. It does make you wonder. It makes me wonder. I'm not sure where to go with it.
To show that Brian Young is 33. And yeah, I mean, what a joke.
Okay, so he just showed gematria calendar. He's really making a big deal about this Instagram post about 33. That completely implicates me as definitely, not questionably, not maybe he is. He could be. It's a possibility. He's definitely, from the perspective of RV Truth, Russian Vids, Brian Young is definitely a Freemason.
Wow.
He keeps showing my
So
picture.
he took part of the rites, no doubt.
He took part of the rites, no doubt, the Masonic rites.
He's part of the lodge. He has a whole production crew behind him. And I guarantee you his majority are bought and paid for. The sub count is not.
Okay, now here's another point of hypocrisy.
He has a whole production crew behind him.
That's not true. It's just me. Trish does her thing and I do my thing. It's 100% me. He says that I don't even see how another man could make a claim against another man like that when you absolutely do not know. He says, I have a whole production crew behind, but there's more. Watch this. I'm not kidding, guys. You think, okay, in this minute, he can't possibly go further out on a limb, but he manages somehow. Watch this.
And I guarantee you his subs, majority are bought and paid for. The sub count is not accurate.
Okay, the majority of I think he's talking about my 500,000 subscriber channel. The majority, the sub count's not accurate. And then listen to why he's saying that.
Wouldn't doubt he has, of course, he has a certain amount of subs, but the numbers are embellished. They're fake. They're fake numbers. The amount of views he gets, there should be a lot more.
Okay, so he's condemning me. He's calling me a shill because he says my sub count is bogus and my view count for the amount of subs I have should be way more. And I agree with him. But let me read you. This is a direct quote from Richie from Boston at the 9-minute and 33-second mark. I'm not kidding. Of RV Truth's video where Richie from Boston says, if they're pulling massive views, they're telling half truths. He was referring to me and anybody who might be pulling massive views. Even though RV Truth is saying right here, he doesn't even pull the views that he should be pulling. And I agree. And the reason for that is it's called shadow banning.
So the massive views are going to guys like HighImpactFlix, Richie from Boston, RV. These are where the massive views are. Now, the strange thing is that, something like this has got 8,500 views on it. That shows us how small the truth community is. So even amongst the people that are watching shill content, it's still like under 10,000 people. So you can have these massively inflated channel numbers, like 560,000 subs, but still the amount of people that pay attention to truths like flat earth and simulation reality and who created this world and stuff like that, it's very, very small group. You have a group of people that are paying attention to world events and they'll act like truthers, but all they are is propagandists playing their part.
I have 500,000 or more, almost 550,000 subscribers, and I can't even get 10,000 views. That's called being ratioed. Something's up there. And you would think, okay, maybe it's because you produce low quality subpar content that nobody likes. Almost all of my content has above a 97% like ratio. Rarely does it go below 95. So it's like you damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you have a high view count, according to Richie, if they're pulling massive views, they're only telling half truths. In other words, they're lying. But if they don't pull enough views, well, there's something up there too. There's no, it's not even about winning. There's no rational, there's no reasoning with these people.
For the amount of supposed subs he has.
But wait, there's more.
So yeah, this is.
Well, wait till you hear what he says. He goes off on Media Bear for no reason. Listen to this.
I appreciate that 216er.
It's coming out.
Something like I said, was going to do. Didn't do it. I'm glad you did, so I can show this.
And let me show you this too while I'm at it. I guess two can play at this game because somebody already did with Russian Vids. They put Russian Vids in a gematria calendar or calculator. And let me show you what they came up with. This is from Gematrinator. Gematrinator blog, Wake the World Up with Geometric Universe and Exposing Those Who Govern by Its Code. Identity of Russian Vids. It calls them out by name. Apparently, who cares where he lives. Ben P. Lyashenko. It says the user also infers that he's a member of a nearby Masonic temple. Never heard that. He certainly got the name for it. Now, I don't know about these numbers, okay? I didn't know there was a 67. I knew there was a 33, a 32, 666. Beyond that, or 911 or whatever. It says Ben P. Lyashenko, if that's his name, 59, full reduction, Freemasonry 59. I don't know if this is true. You guys who are more into gematria than I am. Ben P. Lyashenko, which I assume is Russian vid, 67, Freemasonry. How can Freemasonry be 59 single reduction? I don't know what those mean. Ben P. Lyashenko, 340, English extension, 34th prime number is 139, Freemasonry 139. So this guy tears this guy up with the gematria calendar just like RV Truth, Russian Vids tore me up with the gematria calendar. See what I mean about cannibalizing each other for no freaking reason? It just, this is why, in a sense, I've arrived at the conclusion, and I'm only, it kind of, I don't know about gematria. It looks interesting to me, but I can see how it can be used for great harm and slander, as in the case of RV Truth, Russian Vids.
Fantastic. So Johnny, he shows today his toothpick. That's hilarious.
And then they start, it's so funny. Like if somebody said this in the chat room, he shows us today his toothpick arms, talking about me. What does that have to do with anything? And how is that even funny? I'd be like, he doesn't rebuke this guy, but he heavily rebukes Media Bear here coming up in a minute.
Shrieking, no worries. Don't worry about it.
Hang on.
She's ashamed that she was subbed.
Reference point. So now we have another CIA New World Order agent, Media Bear, who just goes around mocking people, wearing masks, doing all the New World Order things. Again, everything that people put in front of your eyes, unless they're exposing it where they're actually giving you the truth, they're externalizing it to you, right? Unless they're coming to you with the death and resurrection of Yahawahashai as the way into the kingdom, and they're standing upon truth, be very careful who you take your truth from. There's a lot of snakes let's use wolves in sheep's clothing. That's better because, you know, reptiles have got a really bad rep because of people like David Icke. But yeah, just be really careful with these guys. This is, if anyone can't see that Russian Vids did nothing but show things that Brian could easily debunk, I can't help you. I can't help you.
And isn't Media Bear another nameless, faceless shill that hangs out at flat earth conventions?
Yeah. Does he wear the mask all the time? Has he ever had it off? I don't know. And I do believe he came out of the Owen Benjamin camp.
Yeah, totally. That's where the bear part came from.
Hard way. That's the best way to learn. And like I told Rich, it's not about being right all the time. It's about getting it right. And that's the most important thing, is just getting it right. Yeah, definitely the baby truth there, /shill, /exposed. 100%.
I have since learned that baby truther is, I guess, inside lingo for them to say that you're a shill, you're a worker of the devil, worker of iniquity, Freemason.
Yeah. No wonder why he was saying, oh no, all that stuff you have on Ron Paul, it doesn't mean anything. All that stuff you have, you know, on all these people. Wow. And let's get to it here.
I actually didn't say it didn't mean anything. If I said that, what I meant to say was that doesn't convince me that Ron Paul is a Freemason. And if Ron Paul is let me ask you this. Can you be a Freemason and not be a bad guy? What do you guys think? Maybe we should do a call in. What do you guys think? Should we do a call in next time?
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, I've got an answer for you, Brian. I hope you're paying attention. I doubt you are. You're too probably busy fighting for truth, right? Anyone that swore a death oath cannot be trusted. They swore a death oath to lie, to keep secrets. And you're the guy out here touting freedom, right? But now you're going to say that it's okay to be a Freemason? Is that because Monograph is an outright Freemason? Richie from Boston, who didn't show up for the debate between Brian and Russian Videos. Richie said he was busy. He didn't want to talk. They're all Freemasons. I'm not saying Brian is, but the other guys have already pretty much admitted it. But yeah, we cannot trust anyone that swore a death oath to lie. It's an absolute joke. Anyone that's trying to tell you on the other side of the screen that these people are trustworthy, run from.
Maybe we should do a call in about this.
And let's get to it here.
Oh, you know what? I've had people condemn me for being on YouTube. Like, you can't win with any of these people. There are purists out there who go, oh, if you're on YouTube, you're a shill, which would make me a shill. Everybody who's on YouTube, including Russian Vids, and Richie from Boston is on. But people go, well, you can be on YouTube, but if you're monetized, you're a shill. Well, Russian Vids is monetized with premium long run ads right now. He has super chat capability. Would I condemn him for that? No, I don't see anything condemnable in that.
Let's get back to it.
No, it's all about the money, the merchandising. Yeah.
the 666 mask. Are you kidding me?
Okay, here's where
He said they're bandanas. It says face covering.
Yeah, Spreadshirt says face covering.
Be repetitive, but anybody joining in late.
But it also says bandana under that, but he's not willing to read that.
And you're going to put this 666 on your face? Wow.
This is where we run into a huge data point. Look at Brian's face here. Look at Brian's face. Listen, anyone that's selling you something that says World Demonic Forum and it has the 666 in it and the devil horns like this is outright Satanism in your face. It's not even a joke. It's pure Satanism. The black and the red, everybody knows these are the colors that they chose, and this is how they promote it. They put the devil horns and they put the 666s in here, and Brian literally, okay, I'm a content creator. Okay, Brian talks about how images, he the first video we showed you guys, Brian said everything is being programmed to you. All the images and all the things that you see are all programming. I create content, right? And you will never see me create a content where I'm promoting the World Demonic Forum with the 666, right? It's satanic. This doesn't come onto my computer screen except when I'm going to expose someone for doing it. Brian is not who he says he would be. He literally came up with this, made this design, and then put it onto the website so that people could buy t-shirts and paraphernalia supporting this stuff. If this is one of my biggest data points that there's something very not right about this guy.
Wow, really? Unbelievable. What's his RJ?
But it's okay for him to put the UN symbol on your shirt.
Also, you can't be the auditor and know who David.
No, it's not okay to put the UN symbol. No, it's not. Same team.
Oh, here's another thing. Look what this guy says under here. I'm doing my other channel is Here's the Deal. On YouTube, it's for First Amendment auditing and holding public officials accountable for being public officials and public servants. And this guy right here says, also, here's another standard by which they wouldn't want to be judged. Also, you can't be an auditor and not know who David from News Now Houston is. Who said, is that truth because you said it? Who set that rule? So there's no auditor? You mean every single auditor knows who Dave from News Now Houston is? And listen to what Russian Vid says here.
Yeah, that's impossible. Yeah, he tried to defend. He just, everything I put out, all the solid information he put out, he just tried to deny or downplay it. But I'm sure that dirtball, Brian's listening, as well as Dubé. Those two worms are listening right now, and they're probably steaming hot dogs right now together.
That's a reference to the solar cooker. It's like they took anything they could and just cast it in as bad of a light as you could possibly. If anybody knows, I think I said this on the live stream the other night. If anybody knows me, they know what I think about hot dogs.
Yeah, Eric's on task.
There we go again. All right, so people that are paying attention, there's been 3 references now to that, and it's gross. It's really gross. I don't know why he's smiling about that, because anybody that knows the FBI code words for these things knows that that's not something to play around with right there.
Eric's in here because
Eric Dubé. I don't even know who Eric Dubé is, other than he's a flat earther. I've never met him, never talked to him. We've never dialogued on email or anything.
Because one of his fellow Masons got wrecked, so he's here for moral support.
He's calling me and Eric fellow Masons
because of course Brian just it was like a UFC match and he got knocked out, and the handler told Dubé, yeah, you better go in there and for damage control because we looked so bad tonight. We got owned.
Look how he plays all this out. The handler told Dubé, hey, go on there and go to bat for Brian because things didn't work out good for him.
And so Dubé's on task as well.
I see. The reason I'm showing you guys this is I can't believe people like this have an audience. How can people not look at this and go?
Okay, remember Brian's literally selling satanic paraphernalia, right? And what the level of your viewer is who you have to pander to if you're trying to make money, right? So Brian has the more educated patriot, do as thou wilt, non-scriptural guys, even though he does throw the scripture stuffs out there because it pays, right? Anomaly throws out a fake Christian. When I held Anomaly down and asked him over and over again, are you a true Christian? Do you believe in the death and resurrection of Yahawahashai? I'd never got an answer from Anomaly. Same thing from this guy. You won't get an answer from. But what Russian Vids does is basically, again, he gives the low-hanging fruit Russian videos is a supposed Christian, right? So it never really ends with these guys. I'm at a loss for words.
This guy's way out on a limb. I mean, what's the basis for anything that you're saying? But if you question him, wait till you see Media Bear's coming up. If you just question him or make a comment that is truthful, he will have none of it. He will eject you.
You know, but he's on my Skype. I did a stream with him, and he's not out there confronting me and denying things that I put up. So I don't have a problem with him. Yeah, Robert. Yeah, the whole thing with Brian, he was searching.
Look at this accusation right here. I just want to know, how many words does Brian look up in the dictionary each day to use in his rebuttals to make him sound intelligent and confuse the hell out of me?
He was very hesitant. He was pausing for a long time, and he was thinking. And Hagen was thinking, or he might have been listening to. He had an earpiece. I'm joking about the earpiece, but you never know. But definitely, his handlers told him to show up, and boy, I'm sure they're not happy with him at all. They're telling Brian, "What the hell happened? You're a great speaker. RV is just." He's just an okay speaker.
Okay, hold on.
What happened?
It came back to me again. It didn't take long as soon as Russian videos started speaking. So Russian vids, all he does with his pandering to his audience, to finish my point, is he just comes out and claims victory, right? And then the duping people that believe in him, they follow what we call cognitive dissonance. This is where any evidence that someone supposes that they give to you, you'll just eat it up because you want to believe that that's true, right? When in all actuality, Russian vids was an absolute ass clown of himself, made the easiest debunkable statements. He could have literally picked through so many hypocrisies that Brian's committed. The fact that he's a Saskatchewanian trying to use big words so that he can sound more educated, so that he can make more money off of you. None of these things were brought up. They just softballed back and forth. And at the end of the day, neither of these guys are going to lead you to salvation, nor do they care about you. They admitted they're here to make the money. Russian videos channel is monetized. Brian told you. Brian is monetized up the hilt. That's all he cares about. If this isn't obvious to other people, I am really shocked.
Because it's not how well you speak, it's the truth that will prevail.
This to me is an example of a stream can rise no higher than its source. The source in this case is RV Truth, and his audience is the stream, and they cannot rise above that because there's this mentality of, holy cow, we better not speak against RV Truth. He'll strike us from his channel. And so now he's got a whole bunch of people that just won't question him, won't say what really is going on with him.
That's what it comes down to. Well, you know, Media Bear, you're the one wearing a mask.
Okay, here's Media Bear. Listen to this. Listen to all Media Bear said. All he said, you can see the text on the screen right here. Let me make sure you can see it. All Media Bear said is, all this division is controlled demolition. And
all right, so that is the point. Probably absolutely true. This entire setup between RV and Richie against Brian here is controlled demolition. These are agents working together in a controlled demolition to divide and subdivide. This is just another move while they're promoting all their merchandise and getting people to pick a side, which way they're going to go. Now, in this case, either way you go, you lose. Right? Nobody's going to tell you the true nature of this world, who created it, what time period we're in right now. Not from this team. These are the guys working to cover all that up.
And now listen to what RV Truth says to our friend Media Bear.
Well, you know, Media Bear, you're the one wearing a mask. You know, you're pushing that too. So you can take a hike. You're out of here, pal. I don't trust you either. Get lost. You're just the clown aspect of truth. Just a sideshow.
All planned. Controlled demolition. Media Bear comes in with the mask logo on. This is, RV going, oh, I'm just going to ban you because you have a mask in your avatar picture. Absolute setup.
And I don't care if you're a patron. I don't want anything from you. You could be gone.
I don't care if you're a Patreon.
Because this needs to be done. You got to separate the fakes from the real ones. And that's what this is about. And you'll notice, that's highly suspicious of you. Bear Media, whatever. You come here. You don't care about the truth that's being presented. Obviously, this guy is completely defending these known shills and you call this like a controlled demo, whatever. Give me a break.
I think he's even misunderstanding. I don't even think Media Bear is meaning to come against RV Truth at all. All this division is controlled demolition. And I think what Media Bear is saying here is we need to stop being divided and we need to get united. But that's not how RV Truth is taking it.
You walked in the wrong salon, partner, Alex D. So yeah, Media Bear, you're gone. You know, all the evidence, and you're still gonna be like, oh, you don't want division. You're a wimp for that.
You're a wimp.
I don't need people like you around here.
When he said that about Media Bear, my jaw literally dropped open. I was like, what? Who is this guy?
It's like anything in life. There's things we don't want to do. It's a necessary thing that needs to be done. Calling these people out. And it's funny. The shills are against that. You're no different than Low Impact Flix.
He's calling Media Bear shill.
Instead of saying, yeah, you know, if you would have came here, Media Bear, and said, hey, you know what? You're right about a lot of things, RV, but, you know, this whole, you know, going against other people, but you're not looking at that aspect.
Yeah, in the room, Sia Kyle says, RV, decide your fate his way or the highway. This must Tech Tie says, this guy must get invited to all the parties.
At all. So, you know, you're a gatekeeper as well. Yeah, that's exactly what.
RV's rebuke of Media Bear was so pathetic throughout this. He was grasping for some sort of reason why he was kicking him out, and he had nothing. This was all more set up for Brian to use to make RV look bad. They set each other up to take each other down, controlled demolition, which is what Media Bear said.
Richie and I talked about. We're taking the gloves off. No more messing around. No more mucking around. I don't want to be associated with a lot of people. I'm not going to any flat earth conferences. I don't want to meet any of these people at all. I'll talk to people. All right, let's see here.
And he starts talking about, you know, kind of positively about Jeff Berwick. And what he says here is pretty interesting. He basically says he won't call out anybody who's nice to him. Listen to this. There's a psychology that goes along with RV Truth.
Yeah. And of course, you're going to have, you know, the idiots that fell for the lies of the Mason, Brian Young, Low Impact Flix come in here and be
the Mason, Brian Young, Low Impact Flix.
All upset. I don't even flinch at that stuff. Don't even flinch. Bunch of dummies. They don't have a clue. Easy to deceive. It's very, you know, like that song by Billy Idol. It's so easy to deceive. It's easy to deceive. That's 100%. Just get a well-spoken guy. That quote is entertaining, and that's the recipe. You know, again, a little bit off the mainstream. That's a perfect recipe for, you know, an agent.
I don't know, man. I wish we could build bridges. Even with this guy, I wish we could build bridges. But I can't sit here. I can't stand here and say that I would ever trust a guy that's being this dishonest. I know, because I know if he's going to be dishonest with me, and he's going to be dishonest with Media Bear, he's going to be dishonest with everybody. This is just not a good character. A good name is to be chosen rather than great riches, loving favor rather than silver and gold. Your character, your reputation, who you are as a person is everything. I'm not just talking about what you present to people. Like, I could present to you something and be completely different in real life. If that's who I am, presenting you one face of Brian Young, that's not being a good person. That's not going to improve this world. And this is why I feel it's necessary to let me just go on with a couple more minutes of this.
And he screamed agent right away. He got the boot. If anybody's joining in late, he got booted out. The heat of ho. You know, in the old days, we used to do with people. We used to, you know, with kids, you know, just joking around with family. Grab by their feet, grab by their hands, and kind of swing them and just throw them. That's what Brian needed out of here. But yeah, I you know, I feel sorry for anybody that takes part in their nonsense on that side of it. Yeah, well, Jeff, you know, he needs to understand. Knowingly, unknowingly, he needs to understand these people. No, they are not on our side. And I'm going to defend Jeff because he spoke very well about me in a video last year, and I appreciate that. So
what's that? Because Jeff spoke well of him in a video last year. Listen to what RV Truth's mentality is here.
That is RV's position with everybody. Anybody that speaks well of, he's not going to speak bad about, unless if they do some sort of fake controlled demolition here. And then Jeff Berwick is another big name that gets dropped here, who runs, what's it called? Archipelago or something like that. I don't know if you're... Jeff is a big player.
Yeah, I don't know what our what that stuff is, but Jeff is known, if you type his name in, to rip off reports and all these different things. Same with all these characters. I haven't done the deep dive on Brian. I just wanted to expose his Luciferian agenda here, his New World Order agent fruits. But with Jeff, you can do the search. He's a Bitcoin shyster who helps people launder money. He's ripped people off for like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. And yeah, anybody that supports him, his dog's name is Lucy. He's an absolute Luciferian. All these guys they're all Satanists, all of them. And I say that because they're adversaries. I don't mean that they're killing babies, although we did hear them talking about nonsense stuff like that. You can see them. They show you who they are.
I'm not going to return.
Because Jeff Berwick promotes a lot of Max Egan and David Icke and my own content. But he's not going to say anything bad about Jeff Berwick because Jeff Berwick has nice things to say about RV Truth.
So these are the networks being exposed by these guys. He's letting you know, I'm with Max Egan, I'm with these guys. Jeff Berwick promotes it, but you're not going to say bad things about Jeff Berwick, and you are me. So he's questioning. Come on, man, we're all same team.
Negative energy back at him. That's not cool. Just like, Eddie Bravo speaks well about me, I'm not going to badmouth them here. I'll mention things I disagree, but not in a harmful or, condescending or, in a bad way.
So he'll be ugly to you and condescending and in a bad way if you're not nice to him. Listen to this.
But it's okay to have disagreements, but it's the way it's handled. That's funny because, guys like Brian doesn't expose any Freemasons. He defends them. He covers up for them. Showing this, with the black and white and Corona in the back. Really?
Does anybody know what the significance of that is? Does Corona really matter? Does the word checkmate matter? Does the black and white truly matter to somebody who's not clued in on it? Can't you just think that? I mean, I personally think that's a really cool design, but listen also to what he says about his hat being backwards. This is the Greg Anderson, former cop. Listen.
Really? Wearing his hat backwards, by the way.
Wearing his hat backwards. Now, he makes that sound like it's negative. I don't want to take it further than he took it, but saying that he wears his hat backwards, who else wears their hat backwards? All the time. That's the Senator's Richie from Boston with the Masonic hand symbol and wearing his hat backwards. So it's a strike one and strike two. Why isn't Richie out measured by their own standards? It really makes you wonder.
Yeah, it was a joke. Brian's a joke. The people that hire him, I'm sure they're like, they might fire him. Who knows? They're like, what the hell, Brian? Like I said earlier, you're an articulate guy. You're a well-spoken guy. We're going to put you, set you up against RV, and we want you to do a good job of dismantling him. And it didn't happen that way, And they thought for sure Brian was going to come in here and clean house, and it was the exact opposite. Yeah, so, like I said, I was very surprised that Brian even did that. But like I said, he was told to. He probably didn't want to, but he was told to. And like I said,
that's another lie.
It was like the Twin Towers coming down. It was, wow. Yeah, I was like, man, it was a joke. Yeah, he got roasted like a wiener, that's for sure.
So anyway, he keeps on going with this.
And we get Brian coming with the scriptures. And that's going to be the end of this video.
Wow. I just hope that everybody's, sees the evidence, sees the team, and comes to your own conclusions. Right. And everything that I said, I'll stand behind. And if I can be corrected, I'll be corrected. I forgive Brian. Right. Even though I think that he's headed for absolute destruction. For not believing in the scriptures. Maybe he's changed and he can come on and let everybody know that he actually believes in the death and resurrection of Yahawahashai, right? That would be interesting if he could do that. I'm just thankful that we had this night together, and I'm looking forward to it. We should be back Friday. I'll let you do the rest, brother.
Yeah, we gave Brian some views and called him out because the things that RV was saying are, well, see, he used all the straw men that can be easily knocked down. But just by seeing the network that he rolls in, we can see that he's part of the team. The challenge is out there. Brian, RV, Richie, you all know who we are. We're the ones that took down the fake flat earth. And we're here critiquing your fake play as truthers, what you're doing, if we're calling you out, right? So you want to do a debate? Let's do a debate. We know that you're afraid to do it because we'll smash you with truth, and that you can't let us get the views, so it probably won't happen. But the challenge is out there. If anybody's got the cojones, let's do the debate. We'll set it up. But until then, we're just going to keep our eyes on the shills that we pay attention to, and we're gonna, every time they pull some stunt like this, we're gonna call it out and show everybody who these characters are, what they're doing, and we'll just keep going. So this is Wednesday night. We'll probably be live this next Friday, and I don't know if there's anything else. So, brother, where can you hear this?
Only on the Yahawahashai News Network.
And I can't seem to stand it all. You got me falling over obstacle, and I can't seem to think it all. You got me forgetting things that I should know. If I take you away, would I see what I could do? If I take you away, would I win or would I lose? Do I want you to stay? Do I want you to stay? Do I want you to stay? If I take you away, would I see what I could do? If I take you away, would I win or would I lose? Do I want you to stay? Do I want you to stay? Do I want you to stay? Take you